brings us really to number three, which is TSP. So TSP is a tax deferred retirement savings account, and that was created in 1986. So really, it was created when they switched from the civil service system over to FERS. They created TSP as an incentive to help ease that transition. There's a Roth option as well as traditional within TSP. And the matching breakdown kind of works like this. So the agency will match you dollar for dollar up to 5% of your annual salary. So if you're working, if you're making 100,000 per year, if you contribute 5,000 into the TSP, your agency is going to match that 5,000. You'll have a total of 10,000 per year, or 10% of your annual salary going into TSP. And really, what it's doing is that money is going there and it's invested within TSP, depending on the options that you choose. And that money is there really to help supplement you in retirement. Now, there's 6 different funds within TSP that you can choose to have your money invested in. And of course, you can break it up between the funds. It doesn't have to be all in one. You have the G and F fund, which are your more conservative options. Things like the G fund specifically is guaranteed and protected from loss. Then you have things like the C, the S, and the I fund, which are more related to the stocks and other markets. So with those, you may see a higher potential for return, but you've also, on the flip side of that, you have a higher risk as well. And then you have the L fund, which is really just a combination of the GF, CS, and I, and it's based on the year that you're retiring. So you may see like an L 2025 fund. That fund is specifically set up for people who are planning to retire this year. And really, TSP again is designed to work alongside your pension and Social Security to give you that three-part retirement income. So one thing I want to point out, since we have so many people who took the Vera this year, is even though you're under the age of 59 and a half, if you took one of the Veras, you can withdraw from TSP directly, penalty free, 30 days after separation. So you want to verify that with TSP. They'll actually show you in your personal tab, once that's updated, that you're separated from service. But that is just a good thing to be aware of, especially if you're waiting on those retirement checks to start. So you do have that option. So overall, what are my options with TSP near or at retirement? And really, you have four main categories of choices. And then, of course, it gets a little more complex when you get into those individual options. So, number one is keep it in the TSP. TSP actually doesn't require you to move it out, unlike most employer sponsored plans do. So, you can keep investing it in the TSP and you're kind of just managing it. Um, that may still carry market risk depending on how your money's invested within TSP. You can withdraw from TSP. So you can take lump sum withdrawals. You can also set it up to where they send you a certain amount per month. And that's just totally dependent on what you want to do, how much you want to take out. Now, that option, you do, of course, want to be aware of the tax implications, specifically on the traditional side. Um, Basically, anything you take out traditionally is going to be taxed as income. So just be aware of that. And really, number three, this is what we as a company help people with specifically. So you can use part of that TSP to create another guaranteed lifetime income. So in that way, if you think about it, you'd have your pension, Social Security, and then a guaranteed lifetime income using part of that TSP. That just gives you another monthly payment. It's almost like you're buying your own pension at that point. And then option number four really is use part of it now, leave part invested. So that's customize your approach. So that's what we see a lot of people do is they will look at their income figures, figure out how much income they need from the TSP, and then they may choose to leave a portion of TSP just invested. That way they've always got an emergency fund. So next, what I want to do is I just want to walk you through our process, and when you schedule a one-on-one appointment, what we'll actually go through. That way, you get an idea of, is this something that would be helpful to you, and also you can kind of peek behind the curtain and see how we actually help people. So we've got a federal employee here. His name is John, and John's 60 years of age, and he is retiring from federal service. He's got 25 years of service, and his high three is $80,000. So the first thing we want to do with John is we want to calculate out what those first two retirement incomes are going to be. So we went and calculated his pension. That came out to $1,666 a month. That 20,000 a year that we used previously as an example. We calculated his Social Security, and then we calculated his first supplement. Because remember, John's 60, so he's actually going to be getting that supplement before he gets Social Security. That supplement came out to $1,500 per month, basically $18,000 per year. So if we add those two together, John has $3,166 a month, $37,992 per year. So those two incomes alone are about 47% of what John was making while he was working. Now, the great news is John also has been contributing to TSP, taking advantage of the match, and he has a balance of 450,000 currently in TSP. So let's look at some of the products we offer and how that can actually supplement those first two incomes. So again, how this option works, it's the TSP2 lifetime income option. That income is guaranteed for the rest of his life. It's also guaranteed to never decrease. And John can choose to have those monthly payments guaranteed for his lifetime, also for his spouse's lifetime. So that's totally up to John. Really just depends on his personal decisions there. That income can increase over time. And once he gets an increase, that increase is guaranteed for the rest of his life. John gets to choose his beneficiaries. So if he passes away, whatever principal's left in the account, he gets to choose how that is distributed, of course. It's protected against market downside because remember, John's monthly income can't ever decrease. So it doesn't matter what the markets do, John's income's protected. And he also, at this point, gets a bonus on whatever he uses to fund that account. Currently, I believe until November the 11th, that bonus is at 30% right now. So this gives John an additional lifetime retirement income. And really, what it does is it protects him from market risk because remember, his income can never change, it can never decrease, and also protects him from running out of money. Because if John's just leaving that money in TSP and withdrawing as he needs it, if he's not careful, he could risk, depleting that balance, especially if the markets take a negative turn. So let's see how that combines with his first two incomes to really give John his full income picture. So you'll see again, we've got John's information here. That pension was 20,000 per year. Social Security was, or the supplement in the meantime, was 18,000 a year. And what we did for John is we used 400 of his 450,000 to give him another guaranteed monthly income. That came out to just shy of $2,000 a month, right at 23,500 per year. That's what it's going to start at. Remember, it can increase over time as well. If we add those three together, that gives John a total retirement income of $5,124 per month, close to $62,000 per year. Now, the good thing is, once he hits 62, John's going to get cost of living adjustments for his pension, for Social Security, and then his lifetime income account also should grow over time as well. So that puts John already at 77% of what he was making while he was working. Now, that number is actually a little bit closer because John does not have a couple deductions that he had while he was working. So John's no longer paying into his pension. He's no longer paying into Social Security, and he's also not paying into TSP any longer. So John's realistically probably at about 85% of what he was making while he was working. So with this setup, this just gives John peace of mind because he knows his retirement income is not tied to what the markets do. Everything is guaranteed, and he can depend on knowing that he's going to get this 5124 a month, 61,492 a year. And the only thing it can do from there is go up. He doesn't ever have to worry about, reallocating his budget or changing his lifestyle because of what the markets do. So it just gives John peace of mind at the end of the day. And remember, we only used 400 of his TSP for that lifetime income. So we left John 50,000 still in TSP. And he can use that really as an emergency fund because I think that's important for everybody to have some money to the side that they can always access if they need to. Because we all know those things come up, day to day. You have an air conditioner go out, you have to get a new car, whatever the case may be. It's always good to have that money set aside. So what happens next? So let's say you may already be retired, maybe you're retiring and trying to figure out your retirement paperwork. So I would just urge you to book a session. We'll actually have on the next screen a easy way for you to go ahead and do that. And what we'll do is my wife or I, we will sit down with you and just walk through your specific situation because everybody's a little bit different. Everybody's different in terms of their survivor benefits, their exact years of service and situations with that. So what we'll do is we'll run your specific numbers. That way you will have a budget created for you in retirement where you know exactly what your income's going to be. And of course, we'll help you walk through the paperwork, actually doing the ORA application if that's something you need as well.